Researching court rules, an introduction. So what is a court rule? If you're taking civil procedure or have taken civil procedure, of course you know what a court rule is. It's a rule that governs the procedure of a lawsuit. These rules are created by the judges of the court. Usually there's a procedure where the public can comment on a rule or rule change and the legislature can object. Some examples of court rules and research issues involved with a court rule are: what are the requirements for a complaint? When do you have to file an answer? Issues concerning the rules for discovery. What type of sanctions can you get if somebody doesn't comply with a discovery request? Things like that. In the federal system and in the state systems as well, there's rules of general application. So rules of general application in the federal system apply to courts all across the country. Okay, there's the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, which applies in civil cases in your district courts, in your trial courts. There's the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, which applies in criminal cases in the district courts. There's the Federal Rules of Appellate Procedure, which apply in the circuit courts, because appeals is, of course, a different procedure than a trial, so you need your own rules for that. And there's the Federal Rules of Evidence. These apply at the trial court level in both criminal and civil cases. The subject matter courts in the federal systems also have their own rules. For example, the United States Bankruptcy Court and the Tax Court have their own rules. The Bankruptcy Court does use some civil rules as stated in the bankruptcy rules. They will incorporate, the bankruptcy rules will incorporate the civil rules specifically stated in the bankruptcy rules. Okay, besides the rules of general application, when you're filing a motion or a pleading or something else with the court, you also need to research the local rules of that court. So in addition to the civil rules, for example, you need to research the local rules. For example, here we have our circuit courts. So the Federal Rules of Appellate Procedure are going to apply to all these courts. But each court has their own local rules of appellate procedure. For example, the Sixth Circuit has their own local rules, the Fourth Circuit has their own local rules, and the same thing with the district courts. The Northern District Court of Ohio has their own local rules governing procedures in their cases, and the Southern District has their own local rules, as does every district across the country. So you need to look at the general rules plus the local rules. Now the Ohio system of rules is similar to the federal system in that you have rules of civil procedure, criminal procedure, rules of evidence, appellate rules, and these are rules of general application that apply across the whole state. And then each court in turn does have their own local rules. If you look at the Ohio Supreme Court's website and you go to Ohio Rules of Court, here you can see the text of all the court rules on the web, and you can find court rules on really any court's website will have a copy of the various court rules, both the general rules, at least they'll have a link to them, and the court's local rules. Okay, so back to the PowerPoint show. And that's it for our introduction to researching court rules. You might want to take a look at the next video about how to research court rules on Westlaw.